Alright guys, I've got something a little bit fun for you today. I recently picked up one of the mystery boxes of bits from Forgemaster Minis on eBay. You may be well aware of Forgemaster Minis, he's probably one of the biggest 3D printing businesses on Etsy. And you might be wondering what he does with all his failed print. Well, what he does is he randomly packs them all up into boxes and punts them on eBay for super cheap. You need to be aware, they're not always on there. You need to follow the seller because he puts them up in big batches and they go quite fast. However, I was lucky enough to get one, which is fantastic. I think this is an absolutely great idea. It reduces plastic waste, means he gets a bit of money for all his failed prints, and more importantly, I get lots of nice little bits to make some lovely characters. So I'm probably going to go and try and make some first stage characters from this big batch of bits. Let me show you what I've got. So immediately after opening the box, there's definitely some fantastic little bits here. It's not just infantry bits as well, we can see horses and lots of mounts for some cav. From Mahur Kings to High Elves. I'm pretty excited with what I've got here. And I've already got some great ideas for me, despite being hassled by this prick. What? What are you doing? What are you after? Huh? Don't have anything? Will you leave me alone? Huh? What are you doing? So guys, I've picked out a lot of cool wee ideas from this box. I've got about 10 characters and I could have kept going, to be honest. There's like quite a lot of bits in here. There's even just full miniatures, so like just broke it. Like a Rohan standard, you know. Definitely worth the 10 quid or whatever. Like there's so many. A pile of potential. So what I'm going to do now is we're going to go back to my hobby desk and I'll show you all my ideas. So let's have a look at what we have. Here we go, here's all the different bits we've got. Let's start off with the Evo because I've only got 2 Evo. This guy, there's a couple of models that are just like straight one-off. I think that's the Oathmaker and that is done here. I don't have either of these models, so it's quite nice to have. And then I've got 2 orcs here. These look like the Rings of Power orcs. Despite what I think about the show, I think the orcs looked absolutely awesome. So I'm going to have an idea to convert up some of these first, well, I'll make them into first stage orcs. So I've got 2 wee shields, some choppy bits, some spears. There's a couple of named orcs in the first stage, especially from the Fall of Gondolin, which I will need for a future battle report. There's Othrod, the Lord of Orcs, who leads the orcs at the Siege of Gondolin. Thought I could maybe give him this choppy thing, or give him a big spear. It doesn't really look very lordy, so, but we'll see. I also got Lug, the slave driver, so I was thinking actually this guy would make a really good slave driver who stole all the slaves from all the citizens of Gondolin who unfortunately got captured. Next up, I've got this kind of Easterling type guy. Thought he could maybe be like a first stage Easterling, perhaps Ulfang, who turned traitor at the back of the Unnumbered Tears. Doesn't really fit a shield in this pose, so I might need to chop this arm, or I thought maybe I could give him like a big spear or something. I'm not 100% sure. Or just have him like this, because it's quite a cool model. Definitely like that for some first stage Easterlings. Now onto my good. I've got here what I thought would be an awesome Beleg strongbow. Anyway, I'll need to check that up again, but I thought maybe I could cut this off and give him like an elven helm, or just paint him as is because he looks pretty cool. Really like this pose, really like this model. Not really much work being done as well, which is fantastic. I've then got a guy I thought would turn into like some kind of Gondorian captain start of the first stage when they invade Harad. I thought because the armour is kind of similar, it's easy to keep track of who they are. Because technically there's, you know, third age is over 3,000 years long, so you would expect the armour to change a bit in 3,000 years from what we see today. So I thought I could have like a wee guy like that. Perfect. And finally I've got this guy. I think this is the banner bearer for the Bloody Elves. Those Bloody Elves! I thought I could give him the shield arm from this, and I thought a big high elven, a big spear like that. And I thought this could be one of Feanor's sons, maybe. I think that'll look really cool. However, the issue we have here is the fact that these are all resin, and I find 3D printed resin really hard to work with and convert. It can be really brittle, and if you cut it in the wrong place at the wrong time, you're gubbed and it'll just snap and you won't be able to come back from it. So we need to be very careful when working with these. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to build these all up and come back to you when they're done. See you in a bit. So guys, that's me finished all the conversions. As you can see, some of them are just one piece glued to the base, but a couple need a little bit of work. Really simple though, there's plenty of bits inside the box, and as you can see, I've hardly even made a dent in it. I've got so many more bits left here. Oh, I've just realised there's a wee Rohan conversion I could have done with this Royal Guard and this horse. But anyway, moving on, there's far too many bits in here for me to ever finish. So the £13 this cost is absolutely incredible for the amount of things. Like, I've got like 10 models here just from £12. That's like £1 a model plus an entire giant box left. So what I'll do now is just show you the results and let me know what you think in the comments. And with all good projects, we need to be able to admit to ourselves when we've made a mistake. Reviewing this footage now, I realised I completely forgot to put the elven helm on Beleg, so I'm just going to chop that up and add that on now. This is also the only piece that wasn't supplied with the kit. However, there was a ton of elven heads in there, just not this one. I really wanted my Beleg helm to tie in with the artwork on the Children of Húrin book. To do this, I went with one of the original Games Workshop High Elf helms. I think it looks the absolute part here. Just making sure to cut out the neck to make sure there's a nice clean join. And once super glued on, I think this looks the absolute business. Next up, my elven captain here. I don't really see him as one of Feanor's sons. He's not imposing enough. So I decided to whip out my book of Unfinished Tales and give it a quick read, as I remember a part where Ecthelion and one of his friends comes to meet Tur when he arrives at the first gate of Gondolin. I think a captain of the House of the Fountain is much more fitting for this model. So I then proceeded to cut his head and his dismount's head off and replace it with the same helms from my Fall of Gondolin House of the Fountain army. I then proceeded to paint him up in the same way and added him into the rest. If you're interested in how I do my whites, I do have a video on it, which I'll link at the end. I will do a full video on these Gondolin guys soon enough. I know I've been promising it for a long time, but there's been a huge amount of work going into this, and I really want to show you it all when it's completely finished. And of course, a massive thank you to my Patreons. The community and the support you give really drives me to make these videos, so I can't thank you enough. And of course, the usual YouTube spiel that I hate: like, comment, subscribe. And if you wish to support me making silly videos, my Patreon is linked there as well. I love yous all. I'll see you in the next one. Thanks for watching, everyone. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and remember to give my bell a good old ring. Wow. Hands. I accidentally deleted a bit of footage here, so it makes no sense. Some Belleg strongbow. Anyway, I'll need to try it up again, but I thought maybe I could cut this off and give him like an elven helm. Yeah, I've deleted a bit of footage in between here, but I don't know what it was, and I've already finished the video and I can't be arsed fucking editing it, so I'm just going to leave that in. Professional.